Hello and welcome back to Lit Sahitya. This is the second lecture in the video series based on A.K. Ramanujan's very well-known essay, Is There an Indian Way of Thinking? So without wasting any time, let us get started with the second part of this essay. Alright. So Ramanujan's exhaustive yet comprehensive essay, which is titled Is There an Indian Way of Thinking, is a remarkable commentary on what makes India's position in the overwhelming emergence of modernity so unique and incomparable. So in the second part of the essay, Ramanujan explores the inconsistency between tradition and modernity by providing examples from his personal life. He gives an example of his father who was traditional and modern at the same time. And to back his argument, Ramanujan presents several instances where his father perfectly managed to find a balance between tradition and modernity. So consistency, what is consistency? So according to Ramanujan, consistency means strict adherence to only one, and in this case, it is either religion or science. Then Ramanujan begins telling the reader that about his father and the inconsistencies that used to fascinate him. Ramanujan's father was a South Indian Brahmin, and as a South Indian Brahmin, he used to wear dhotis in traditional style, but quite contradictorily, he also wore English jackets over his dhotis. This amalgamation of Indian and Western culture is apparent throughout the essay in various instances. In another instance, Ramanujan narrates that his father wore tartan patterned socks and leather shoes when he went to the university, but he removed them before entering the inner quarters of the house. Here, we see the perfect assimilation of two sets of values and ways of life. On the one hand, Ramanujan's father is wearing leather shoes, which is clearly a product of European influence. But we also see the same man remove his shoes when he is entering into the inner part of the house, because many Hindu communities prohibit or avoid wearing shoes inside the house. Similarly, Ramanujan adds that his father was a mathematician, astronomer, and also a Sanskrit scholar and an expert astrologer. Theoretically, all these professions are quite contradictory to each other, and yet his father was excellent in each of these fields. Ramanujan narrates that on one hand, American and English mathematicians used to visit his father, and on the other, local pundits and astrologers also visited him. So Ramanujan further adds that how his father used to read Bhagavad Gita religiously every morning after taking a bath, and he would also talk about Russell and Ingersoll with the same amount of passion. Here, Bhagavad Gita is of course a religious text, and Russell and Ingersoll are the men of science, logic and philosophy. This unusual combination was a mystery for Ramanujan, which always fascinated him. He could not figure out such an inconsistency, but to his surprise, his father appeared to neither think nor care about any sort of inconsistency in his behavior. So this is all that Ramanujan discussed in the second part of the essay, and this part is largely based upon the inconsistencies that Ramanujan saw in the behavior of his father, and he gives several examples where his father used to have both the value systems of on the one hand he used to follow Western attire and leather shoes and all, and on the other hand he also religiously followed Indian values and culture, the examples of which can be found in his habit of reading Bhagavad Gita every day, or removing his shoes before entering the inner quarters of the house. And through these examples, Ramanujan explains how he observed the unusual inconsistency in his father, and this is all he talks about in the second part of the essay. And this same topic of consistency in India, he later further expands this topic and to a larger context, and he discussed this further in this third part of the essay. And the video for the third part of the essay will be uploaded soon on the channel. Thank you for watching.